What's going on, guys? Kami here, coming at you with another Coach Kami episode. This is going to be from Frostbite or Low End Frost, the Makoa on the left side. Remember, if you guys are interested in having your own gameplay coached by me, either be a sub to me on Twitch or part of my Patreon, or just post down in the comments below on this video. Tell me what champion you would want me to coach you on and why you think I should choose you over everyone else. Let's jump into some gameplay. So it looks like you're going to go with Pluck, and this is the build you're going with. Personally, for me, I love Strong Arm 4. More hooks, the better. People ask, how do you be a good Makoa? And, there's positioning just like with any other tank. But really, when it comes down to it, the nitty gritty, hit your hooks. This is as easy as that. The healing inside of your shell shield, I also like that. I think I want to see something along the lines of either Spring Tide or Tsunami being replaced with something that gives you increased duration, because that coincides with the Tidal Grace giving you a little bit more healing. Salvage, I don't really think you need it at a 3. The big thing you're going to want, especially with the Pluck, is that extra shot that you have after the hook. As long as you're getting that guaranteed every time, it's really enough. So dropping Salvage down to 1, but then it's like, what do you crank up? Well, there's another card that allows you to either A, reset your cooldown, Ebb and Flow, that you could try out if you'd like, or you could try out Barrier Reef, which is amazing. When you pop up your shield, people are pouring into it. You're either A, getting the heal from it, or B, you're getting a shorter cooldown from them pouring damage into it. That really kind of depends on how much Wrecker is on the other side and how efficient the Wrecker is, Like a Wrecker Lex isn't that great, but a Wrecker with a Bomb King or a Drogos, that's when Barrier Reef really starts to kick in. Looks like you're just kind of going over the legendaries. And that's an important thing. I've said this before. See what your teammates are going and see what the enemies are going. Get an idea of what you need to look out for. He knows that the Maeve has 9 lives, so she can 9 lives out of the hook. Now you're starting off with Haven. Haven is pretty much, and by pretty much, I mean is the entire other team right now. Normally I would not say go Haven, but they don't really have heals. That Grok's going Wraith build. This is kind of a loopy type of game right here, so I can't say that I'm completely against it. And you're not having Barrier Reef, so Chronos doesn't become as important. So going on a point, popping your shield right there. And they're pouring in a decent amount of damage, so Barrier Reef might have been useful there. Maybe get a little bit more time off your cooldown instead of having a 16-second cooldown. Right now, you're going to want to be looking for a hook. Ruckus is an okay hook, or it interrupts his spin. And Grok is actually a really bad person to hook right here because he's got the Wraith cooldown and he's got his Ghost Walk. So you're probably going to want to look to hook this Ruckus ASAP or find another target to hook. You don't always have to be on point right away, but they're not really giving you too much issue. So right here, you have the decision to either hook him right away to stop the damage coming in on you. You've got a good amount of stream of heals coming in from the Genos, but to interrupt him and to force him to blow his cooldowns is good. That being said, though, the shield is up, so I actually like that you're holding up. You're not taking too much damage, and you're waiting for the shield to go off. Now I'd want to see you try to pump up there. The totem's up there. You want to get him off the hook, and that is a very good hook. Getting him on there. Genos lifting him up. But you're taking a lot of damage, so you're going to need to fall back. Ooh, good shell spin to stay back on there. You're going to want to get right back into the combat. Your health is fine. Getting anyone off of there is going to be good, but again, a Grok is not going to be your #1 target. He's got too much sustainability. Now you're taking damage from the back. The Lex coming out of nowhere. Shell spin out, but I don't know if you're going to be able to do it. That Lex is probably going to be able to chase you down. So being a little bit more aware of your behind you and choosing your hooking targets a little bit better. So now coming back, you've got your Leon and your Xin down, and their Grok and Lex down. You can start making a little bit of pressure. Your Charlene has to get healed up, but your Genos is going to be on it here real soon. He's laying down this area here. So the problem is, if you go, you have to go now. Actually, you kind of already don't have enough time to get on the payload, or to get on the point. But you'll need to go right now because you're going to get dismounted, and then you'll need to spin on. But he turned around. If you would have wanted a split second earlier to spin on, you would have gotten it. But I do like the attempt to hook the Ruckus off. I believe he was the only one on the point, so that would have stopped it. But Maeve and Cassie were kind of around there. The spin right after that would have been to ensure that you would be able to at least stop the capture point to go into the enemy team. If you're taking a lot of damage, you're probably going to want to use your shell shield right now. Allow your Genos to heal you up. And that's exactly what you do. And keeping here in the central zone allows, if you kind of go behind a wall and you just shell shield, it's kind of pointless. Get out in the middle of the open and let the team use your shell shield, just like you're doing right there. But make sure that by the time your shell shield drops, that you're kind of in a safe spot. So right now, what you're doing is you're focusing on this Ruckus. And the Ruckus, that's what your Xin is attacking, right? But you should always try to attack what your teammates are attacking, but sometimes your teammates aren't attacking the best target, especially for your position. Right now, when you started off looking there, you had this Cassie. This Cassie is prime bait. Yes, she can roll, and yes, she can hit again, but that's a lot of burst damage to be onto that Cassie. And she's just pouring damage into you right now. That Ruckus was low, and you were able to actually get onto him, and even the attempt on the hook, the Lex happened to run in front of it in the first place, but Cassie probably would have been your best chance to hook there, to be able to secure a kill. So right now they've had their ruckus down. They have their tank down, and you have a DPS down. That Maeve being behind, you'll want to put a lot of aggression on there. So notice how the Lex went to the left, right? And you notice he went to the left. Right when you look left, you see your whole team going in there. Your best bet would be go through the middle zone and try to cut him off. Now he might be able to get away. Oh no, he spins, or he slides right in front of everyone. That works. That was a good preemptive hook there. I really like that. Using the shell shield as a, hey, I can't take damage, and you're gaining area, like you're gaining ground to get into the hooking range, that's a good move right there. Now your hook is available. You'll want to use a really good target. Now the Grok is really low, but he's got Wraith. Okay, or not. I believe it's called Kami Coach, right? Not Kami gets proven wrong all the time. I've been there. Hook a little greedy. So your Genos is ulting, as you can hear the Genos ulting right now, and you've got two people in the back. Your hook is nowhere on cooldown, and you're actually setting yourself up for a little bit of a sandwich. You got the tank here, you've got two DPS back here, the Maeve and the Cassie, and then I believe on the right side, whoever, like the Lex on the right side, right? You just lost two people. The time to fall back is now. Don't even worry, like spin out right now. There it is. Hook on the Ruckus was fine. You're just kind of putting damage on right now. Remember, your Genos is down, so you're going to need to stay alive, and your cooldowns are off, so you need to back out. You're putting yourself a little bit of a risk in case they want to flank, but the thing is, they have two down right now, so you should be free to do that. You're going to have your Ruckus, you're going to have your Grok sticking together on point, and your Cassie. You might want to consider going for a flank, and this is a good move because your healer can heal through walls, so once your healer gets close, he's able to heal you through the wall. The problem is, he has no way to push up, so you're kind of rooting your frontal pressure right now to stop the payload, and you want to hold it off in that choke that it's arriving right now. So you want to flank as fast as possible, and that's exactly what you're doing. If you guys noticed, other than the fact that my screen is blaringly bright right now, the way that he hooked and he shot then he hooked. Okay, go ahead and watch this. He comes around the corner and he sees the Grok. This is a very good move from a Makoa player, and you should always be trying to do this as much as possible. He will left click, then he will right click, then he will left click, and this is a big burst damage. That's 650 damage plus 100 damage from the hook plus whatever the hell the shot is from the pluck damage. Now, that being said, again, the Grok has Wraith, the Grok has Ghost Walk. He's going to be a hard target to get down, and he is able to stay alive. Good job saving your hook there. That hook on that Cassie would be very good. Able to pull it off. Double kill, which you know about that. Chasing down that Maeve as it dropped. Now you hear the Lex over there, and he's pushing. You can see your people, they're fine. Just go do a 180 and go try to cut him off here. That's exactly what you do. That's good. Not only is that good because it's allowing you to cut off a route that he wants to go, but it also gives you a little bit more forward ground. Again, a shield right here would be very good. Cut off a lot of the damage coming in at you. Save your shot, or save your Zen from taking too much damage. He's just putting in the frontal pressure. Gotta get that shield up. A little bit later than what I'd like to see, but right there, you notice your... Ooh, very good hook there. But right there, you notice your Leon's playing really aggressive right now, and she dives up, maybe putting yourself a little bit forward to make sure that she's able to go, whoops, I maybe went up too far, maybe I want to fall back, because they have one down, and that's not enough to really push up that far. That hook on that Lex was just fantastic. I mean, being able to shut down ults that aren't CC immune, Makoa is the bee's knees at doing that. I don't know if I agree with that Maeve ult right there. This has got brought up a lot of times, but, when do you ult, when do you not ult, when you're going on a push, right? Well, the best time to ult is when you know you can rebuild your ult for the next point. But what if you're not in that situation? Well, you look at how far the payload's pushed. If you're able to successfully wipe the team and they're able to regroup, how long do you have to go? That was so long. The Maeve should not have ulted there. The payload has to be at least halfway, really at least 3/4 of the way if you decide to ult, to retake, to start pushing the payload. No less than 3/4 of the way. That's my rule of thumb. I just made it up. Looking at the items here, it looks like the Ruckus has decided to go with the special, the old Haven Cauterized Life Rip Chronos. That was me trying to combine Life Rip and Chronos and just failing miserably. It looks like their Cassie might be AFK or a bot or something. I don't know. Bad news bears for them. Since the enemy's not getting a lot of Cauterize, you could choose to go Rejuvenate, and you are getting a little bit of Heal Bot on from your Genos, so I would not hate this idea. Right here, I'd probably go for a Haven 2 if you wanted to do anything. You decide to go for a Haven 2. Hey, it's like he's in my head. So as for positioning right here, what I like to do is just rush into him and hook that Grok and punch him in the face. What I like to do is you don't always have to be on point right away. This is fine, right? Getting on point is fine. And if the enemies aren't pressuring you enough to really punish you for just being on point alone, that's completely okay. And in itself, being on point is putting pressure on the team because they're like, we need to do something now or they're getting free points. What I like to do, well, is kind of play in the hub area. Over here on the left side, if they're putting a lot of pressure on you, like Cassie arrows and Ruckus going off, I like to hide over there to make sure you're good. And then wait for a prime target to hook in there and get the good damage. Now, the Ruckus is ulting. You have a split decision to do here. You're probably going to need to ult. Your best case scenario is to get out of there. I would do a 180, and I would dash towards probably the tunnel onto the right side. Or you could shield, or you could ult. Let's see what he decides to do. Now, you ulted a little bit early, but then again, a little bit early in the grand scheme of things of a Ruckus ulting. Well, it's the difference of a life and death. I get you're swinging here, and you wanted to stay alive, but really, the straight back and forth kind of makes it so Ruckus is hard to actually hit you, but he's still these giant rockets coming at you, and if he just shoots at the ground, he's almost getting max damage. You want to get out of there as soon as possible. I wanted to see you shell spin away a little bit quicker, but you can't. No shell spin up right now. A little tidbit for people that didn't know this, you could cancel your ult early with Makoa. So if you wanted to right now, as you're backing off and you see, oh, I have a chance and I don't want to use my shell spin, tap E again, then you could tap your Q, your shield, you'd be able to stay alive. But you do end up dropping. So now it's time to group up. That's exactly what you say, which is good. Your Genos is down, your Genos has an ult, that's a good retake, and your Shaolin has an ult, which is another really good retake. The area that I'd want to see you go is not here. Going from the left side gives you the option to poke with a lot more cover. This one is a very obvious route you have to take. Or you could have went all the way back down and then to the right and went into the tunnel and maybe got a cheesy hook off the right side, but not really needed. And remember, you got to wait for your Genos. So I like here, you're doing a very smart thing. You're getting information, although you can't really tell the teammates what information you're getting, or at least giving yourself the information to see how many people are on the point. You're also seeing here at the top of the 3. But you are going to go ahead and go through the front here. And your Shaolin is ulted. That's he's getting the increased shots there, the increased draw speed, and you're giving him a shell to kind of roll in on. So that's really good teamwork right there. I would have liked to see you almost, instead of, it's only a 63%, I would want to see you go in and help out that Zen, because that Cassie was so low when you were rolling in. And you can save that hook for later. But if you would have spun in, maybe got the hit, just to ensure that it goes down, then you could turn around and get the hook. But now your hook and your shell shield is off cooldown. You get your spin available, which is good. Good job targeting that totem. But I would not, I don't think I would target the Grok here. I mean, I get it. The Grok is a squishier target, but he's got Wraith. He's got totems. He's got his own Ghost Walk. Not going to work out very well. Now, as you're fighting this Ruckus, I don't know if you noticed, but on the right side, 2 of your teammates just dropped, and I believe a 3rd one drops right there. Right now would be a good time that you'd want to fall back or at least do something. You know the enemies are behind you. Like, I would assume that the Lex is behind you. He's been behind you a lot. You'd probably want to spin in instead of just pouring damage into this Ruckus/Grok and to get away. The Grok does get finished off, and I think that might actually help your Zen kill the Ruckus, but I don't know if he's actually able to do it. Now, the Ruckus putting up the shield, I think that's going to end up being the end of that. Honestly, the question is, do you pick up Cauterize? I haven't really seen the Grok heal that much. I mean, keep at it, buddy. There, you couldn't really choose what you wanted to do. I mean, it was a 50-50 shot at who you're going to hook there. And you want to hook your prime targets, but also you don't want to sit there and not hook when it's off cooldown for the most part. That's going to ensure that kill on the Ruckus. And now you can be very aggressive. They have 2 down. Be very, very aggressive right now. That feels like a bot to me. I would shell spin towards that Cassie. Here I come. I like the preemptive shot that he did up there in the window. That kind of shuts down anyone coming with a mount. And your ultimate's almost up, and you probably keep in mind, just stay alive enough to get that ult up, and then you can go back to being super aggressive. Now, I probably would have hooked that Maeve, because their 9 lives was down, but you actually didn't need to. Ultimate is available, holding on to it, just get ready to pull that trigger if you need to. Honestly, waiting until the last minute is always good. Good job positioning to make sure you're outside of that ultimate from Lex. Honestly, something I've noticed when watching your games is your sensitivity seems a little high, but you seem to be managing it for the most part. Definitely a lot of flicking going on during your attacks, though, so hopefully it's not hindering your ability to track, maybe with Victor or something. That ultimate was good. You still have your hook available. You don't need it yet. Man, I swear that Wraith would proc more often. I know it only procs like every 45 seconds, but holy guacamole. Oh, he's looking for that hook and Texas the Cassie instead. Shell shield and walk on out of there. I like everything you're doing right now. Nothing really to say that you're doing incorrectly. Right now your team is pushing up, probably a little bit too aggressive. You want to make sure to keep himself from doing too much. That Zen is dead. Never mind. I was like, that Zen probably is going to die. Good idea, pushing up there and keep taking out that ruckus from the rear. But sadly, Seb is looking like he's got in right behind you and killed your whole team. But you were able to take him out. I would shield right now and shell spin away personally, just to be safe, but you were able to get up here. Now you're going to have out of combat regen plus your shell shield healing. That's a lot of health. So what happened there is you got a little hook happy. 3, 2, 1, 0. It checks to see if anyone's nearby. You trigger the overtime for him. Not that big of a deal, but sometimes be a little bit careful about that. Almost able to take that ruckus down. You kind of just we're in a bad position right there. You could have backed out a little bit, or you could have shell shielded or shell spin a little bit earlier. Zen given the hands, and the defense still goes successfully. Again, like they shouldn't have ulted. It could have been very easy to defend that because they had so far to go. So you're going for Haven 3. Again, it's a full Haven team. I don't really see any heals coming off. That being said, though, we need to keep in mind that the Cassie probably has the heal coming in from the roll. And Maeve has 9 lives heal, but it reduces, or it negates any sort of debuffs, which Caudal Raise is a debuff, apparently, according to that legendary. You've got 300 credits. You may want to save for Rejuvenate. Other options you could be doing right now is the red cards. Wrecker, not really enough. You could go for the deployable damage, but again, meh. Cauterize, maybe start picking up Cauterize. I'm sure Ruckus probably has some heals. I'm sure Lex has some heals. And then, of course, you have the yellow card, which you could go Chronos, Master Writing. Those are pretty much the 2 you'd want to go. But so far, everything seems to be working out all right. Taking yourself a lot tankier. So right here, you have a lot more to deal with on point. So instead of kind of fighting this and just be leaving yourself open to a lot of battle, you started to backpedal a little bit more and go into the hub. And for a little bit of a greedy hook. That Genos ult was, it was something. You're taking a lot of damage on you. You probably want to pop up your shell shield a little bit earlier. The reason I want to pop it up a little bit earlier is right when your shell shield goes down, then you'll have your hook up and, you know, try to make the cooldowns line up kind of like that. Now, honestly, I would pop up that shell shield and back up a little bit. And what you could have done is you could have baited someone to come in there and then hooked them right off the ledge. That Ruckus is running Flux Generator. I don't think he's running the shell, or I don't think he's running the dashes up into the air. I don't think I've ever seen the Ruckus dash up in the air yet. Right there. So right there, your Leon dies, right? Your Genos is coming back. You have your out-of-combat regen. You kind of wait a second. You're like, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? And then you shoot here. So the problem with shooting here is there's tons of time on the capture point, and your out-of-combat regen, you stop it, which is a big bummer. You have your ultimate available. It's good, but you want to try to hold on to that as much as possible, and your Genos is going to be coming back soon. So hopefully the Shaolin stays safe. You probably just wanted to save your Zen, but now you're forcing yourself on point, and your Genos hasn't really had enough time to get back right now. Yeah, you kind of went there to save your Zen, but right now you guys don't really want to be contesting. You want to be poking it from afar. But your Zen could probably get out for free. And you forced an ult out on you very soon, or very early. You want to stay hidden from that as much as possible. I like how you're kind of backpedaling there, just to preemptively get ready to hide behind the wall, and not only that, you're also getting it to where you can pull Ruckus a little bit farther back. You could have also done a 180 turn after the hook to get him just a little bit farther back, but I mean, that's just like min-maxing stuff. Overall, you're able to take it out. Seems good to me. That Grok is sitting there like a yummy pirate. And what I mean by that is you need to be a hooker. You gotta hook them. I always preach against hooking the Grok, but that would have been a really good stagger. Good hook on the Ruckus though. Luckily you didn't hook him onto the payload, or hook him onto the capture point to get the overtime to proc. We're just moving on forward. I like how you notice that the Zen is kind of in the backline distracting him, and you push on that. And that's a big thing you do in competitive gaming is when you have flankers, flankers don't always just kill everything. Sometimes they just poke and prod. And the communication, which, again, probably no communication going on in this random game. Hey, I'm in the back line. They're looking at me, pushing through the front. Okay. Front line pushes. Front line says, hey, they're looking at me. Flanks, go back in, as the flanks run away because they're poking and prodding. It's all about staying alive, and staying alive is something that a lot of people don't like to do in Paladins. So the issue here is that the payload wasn't getting pushed. Well, payload's not getting pushed because the Genos isn't there. Like how you realize that, pop back, their Genos is back, and he's able to heal up some people and push the payload. But you're mostly wanting to be off the payload right now because you're in the position to be able to hook that Cassie off the window, and you want to get that Ruckus who's trying to get down some chip damage. That was a greedy ult. I like this wait for a hook on the window. I don't think the hook was really needed there. He was either going to die or Wraith was going to proc. I think you can kind of ignore him and look for another one to hook. And hook onto the Maeve, you do! She has 9 lives, but not able to get out. Oh, you're so close on your ult. You want to dash out of there. Try to get one more shot off. Maybe just get aggressive peek. No, it's probably a bad play there, but... Oh, so, I mean, you saw the Cassie. I mean, I do that all the time. I miss some things like that. You're killing the Cassie. Got your ultimate available, and your team is poking from back. And you push it on this Grok, and I like this. Now it's time to ult. Ooh. So here I feel like the shaky aiming is kind of hurt you in the long run there. You're going to put your shield up right now and get out of there. You have, I believe, your Genos just respawned. Might be crazy, though. No, your Genos did just respawn. You don't want to be pushing right now. Like, you have 48 seconds left. This is just the time to sit back, and if you want to stay around this corner, that's fine, but honestly, you need to sit back, because if the team is smart enough, the enemy team, they're going to push on you, and they're going to just completely just dominate you. Like, just collapse on you. And it's going to be right before your healer gets back. Oh my god, your healer gets back just in time. Shaolin went down, though. And his Ruckus ain't have none of this. So, right when you got around that corner, you'd want to dash away. One, you'd want to put your shell shield up like right now. Right after that shot, shell shield. I do that a lot where I hook, I shoot, and then I shell shield. Right away. And then you want to fall back here, and then the instant you get here, dash right towards that Zen. And not only that, but you're also going to, if you dash right there perfectly, you would cut off the line of sight of the Genos being fired at, and you'd kind of give him a little red carpet walkway to kind of back up over to the right side, heal up a little bit, and then give yourself a time for a final push. Although with this death, it's going to be harder to do. Who's going to go with Rejuvenate 3 and a Chronos? I dig a Chronos. I don't think Morale Boost is ever really worth it. Chronos, you just have so many cooldowns that you want to keep off. I think it's definitely worth it. You have time for one more push, but you're going to need to charge in there. No, Shaolin's going to get dropped here. You can try for it. You want to put your shield up right away. You want to stay alive as much as possible. Keeping your Leon alive was a good move there. Leon dropped. Try to get as much damage as you can. You could try on the back overtime attempt. So no items to buy here. It's time to go on to the point. You know that there's going to be 3 people sitting here. If you wanted to, you could just go flank. Flanking would do 2 things. One, your teammates are going that way anyway. If you catch another person trying to flank that way, hook them, kill them, dead, 4v5. Or you get to flank with the flankers, and that's just so much damage. There's one. Grok's going to be coming around the corner here in a second. There's the Grok putting up the totem. Good job taking the totem down. Good hook on the Ruckus. He must have the crippling one, because that guy's never dashing out of those. So you hear behind us, and you hear pew, 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 pew. That's the Lex. Their Ruckus just fell. Their Grok is down. You're going to need to try to help out your team. So I would probably suggest looking behind you and maybe even dashing behind there to help them out. And that's exactly what you're doing. That's good. Good kill onto the Maeve. Almost got your ultimate available. Look how you avoided that ult with Lex. See, everything just seems to come into line with you and Lex ult, I swear. Whoa, what a hook! You have your ultimate available. But I would again probably say, well, no, you know what? Your Genos is in there. You're going to need to push. I think it was a Genos or else it's in. There, I'd probably have your shield up right when you were peeking that Ruck Assault. Oh no. So close on that ultimate. Just, you know, popping it a little bit earlier would have saved you there, obviously. Shaolin has an ultimate available. You guys have one more chance on this, as long as that Leon doesn't die, but the Leon... That's what we call a stagger here, ladies and gentlemen. Shaolin is ulted. He's doing some damage. You just need to get on point right now. Do the old dasher. That pull-off not really worth it. You gotta get on there. You gotta dash on there. You gotta dash. Not enough. You had your ultimate available. I will say that he did message me and said that he screwed up towards the end of the game. He didn't know that he had his ult up. It's life. I get it. They don't call it a Kami ult for nothing. So looking at the stats here, you did top damage. I mean, it's not unheard of, but it is kind of unheard of. That's a Makoa carry there for you. Overall, my suggestions would be, 1, maybe look at your loadout. You could definitely stand to gain a little bit from increased shield duration by a little bit, or Barrier Reef / Ebb and Flow. I prefer Barrier Reef. Ebb and Flow is just too random. You don't know when the internal cooldown is on it. Kind of annoying. 2, your hook targets. I mean, your priorities seem good. The Ruckus, maybe you're hooking a little bit earlier to make sure that you can shut them down right away. And maybe just trying to keep yourself out of damage. Yeah, you weren't taking a lot of damage just sitting on point with that Ruckus being on you, but if that Cassie was there and they were both somewhat decent shooting into you, damage racks up quick. And that puts like a lot of stress on the Genos, because then they have to heal you, and you could be eliminating a lot of it and letting them getting onto point. Then you can hook them into the hub or hook them wherever you're sitting. 3, paying attention if your ult is up or your dash is up. A lot of the times when you were waiting to get onto the point and you were waiting till the last minute, I do this too. You'll need to make sure to go a little bit earlier than you think you did. Like, if you imagine, okay, I need to go in 3 seconds, go in like 1.5 seconds or go in 1 second just to be safe. You want to try to get as much time as possible to let your team regroup. But it's the most infuriating thing ever once you get your team regrouped and you go in and you see the capture point spawn a payload for the enemy team as you're spinning in. But for the most part, I'd say this is probably one of the better Makoa gameplay videos I've seen in a while. And maybe your opponents weren't that good, but your hooks were on point, and overall your shots were on point. Hopefully this video helped you and or anybody watching this video. Remember, if you guys are interested in submitting your own videos, if you are a sub to me on Twitch or part of my Patreon, toss me a message on Discord. We'll get it figured out. We'll get it set up ASAP. If you are not, that's fine. Toss a comment down below. Tell me, hey, I'm trying to get good at Shaolin and I would like some help, please. I will love you forever. I don't know, that's not that great, really, but toss down in the comments of the champion you want to be coached on and why you think you deserve it over anyone else, and maybe I'll message you. Also, like, give me some way to message you, because YouTube kind of sucks. Like, give me a Twitter handle, give me Discord. Discord would help out a lot. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Hey, thanks for watching. I'm not going to be one of those people who asks you to like and subscribe, so I'm not going to ask.